Good evening, everybody. We from Bengal Volunteers are once again in this session of VERITAS, and today we are going to discuss a very critical issue or subject that has been going on in the Indian subcontinent for the last 80 years at a stretch. Only on yesterday, the Jatiyo Hindu Mahajut, or the National Grand, or the National Hindu Confederacy in Bangladesh, came out with its annual report of Hindu persecutions or minority persecutions across Bangladesh. The report is based on incidents between January and 31st December 2022. The report is so dreadful that can shiver a single individual who is also trying to be human. Now let me read out the reports before. But before that, we must tell you something else. In 1947, when India was partitioned and Bengal got divided into two halves, in the parliament, Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru had stated in his famous speech of Tryst and Destiny, and these lines are included there: we shall not forget our brothers and sisters living on the other side of the border. When they are in crisis, we shall be with them to stave off any catastrophe. Unfortunately, such a great assurance did not materialize in the last 80 years. In 1949, at Karachi, Pakistan, at the National Assembly there, a debate took place between Pakistan's first Prime Minister Liaquat Ali Khan and Srish Chandra Chatterjee, one of the greatest revolutionaries, and also then the member of Pakistan Congress. Mr. Chatterjee had stated in very clear terms that at that time, East Pakistan was consisting of 29% Hindu population. That population can't do anything or can't submit themselves to the dictates or to the whims and aspirations of an alien concept. For that reason, he tried to request the Prime Minister of Pakistan to be generous and moderate to the minorities in his Pakistan. That 21% population has just by now has come to 7.5%. It's not only staggering, but it's on the verge of collapse. In 1950, when the East Pakistan genocide took place, there had been a treaty to stop it. Well, there have been countermeasures in Calcutta and Howrah too. To stop the crisis and the loss of human lives, India and Pakistan entered into a treaty where it was stated very, very clearly that both countries would be concerned to maintain the lives and security of the minorities. What is most striking, the treaty put both India and Pakistan in the same table. And through this treaty, India submitted itself to Pakistan, and against this, Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee and Dr. Satish Chandra Neogi resigned from the central cabinet at the time. The things have not changed anymore, they do remain the same. Now please allow me to read out the report before I ask the respected guests to come here and speak on their own. Please let me read out the report. Please pay attention to it. Bangladesh Hindu Mahajut, or Bangladesh National Hindu Confederacy or Grand Alliance, has come out with an annual report of minority persecution, including of Hindus in Bangladesh. It was published at Dhaka Reporters Unity at Dhaka, the capital city of Bangladesh, on Friday, dated 6/01/2023. That's yesterday. In accordance with the report, 154 minority people have been murdered, 39 rapes, of which 27 are incidents of gang rapes. 14 women have been killed following rapes. 55 women have been attempted to rape. 152 people have been converted to Islam. 40 more have been tried to convert. 849 people have received death threats. 224 people have suffered attempts to murder, while 360 have been wounded severely. 27 crores 46 lakhs and 33 thousands of taka, that is Bangladeshi currency, have been looted from Bangladeshi minorities. In the last 1 year, 89,990 acres of lands belonging to minority people have been seized forcibly. 572 minority families have been evicted from their own ancestral lands, while 445 families have been forced or compelled to move out of their own country or Bangladesh. Minorities have suffered a loss of an amount of altogether 220 crores 89 lakh taka. Now let's come to the more statistics. Loots, incidents of loots at temples and minority families 390, attacks at residences 891, hoarding of properties 590, destruction of at business centers 173, houses seized 57, business centers seized 50, temple properties seized 51. Serious attempts have been made to evict 3,694 families. Number of families to get threats of eviction 35,818. Families dwelling under threats to leave Bangladesh 15,150. Number of insecure families 1,98,991. Organized attacks 953. Incidents to desecrate and destruct temples 128. It's 128. Destruction of holy deities 841. Stolen deities 72. Incidents to burn religious sentiment. Incidents to hurt religious sentiment 127. Incidents of acts, loss of jobs due to fake cases 791. Now this is the report that has been submitted by the Bangladeshi Hindu Mahajot yesterday and has already been published in almost all the leading dailies, including Prothom, Malu and others of Bangladesh. So we cannot say a single word of its authenticity. Now I'm just wondering whether this is a war report or report of a minority persecution. To me, it can be to any person. If I just remove these words of minority persecution, anyone may deem it as a war report that has taken place in any war field. So this is a reality. And to discuss on it here, we do have the researchers who are associated deeply with this project of Hindu Mahajot. Let me introduce Manik Rokhet and Pradeep Chandra, both young researchers who have taken all the pains to go through these reports and made extensive researches across Bangladesh to bring out this publication. There shall be Binoy Dotto with us, a special guest, also a journalist, who is going to join us within a few hours from now. I'm sorry, Binoy Babu is already in. Okay. Good evening, Manik. Good evening. Can you hear me? Hello, good evening. Manik, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can hear you.
Vinada, can you hear me? Vinada, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing, man. Are you hearing?
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Pradeep, are you here? Pradeep? Okay. So let me begin with Manik. Manik, you have been associated with this project. They play along with Pradeep and Pradeep also. So my first question is this report all, or is there more to come? And number two, Does it cover the entire landscape of Bangladesh, that is 64 districts or subdivisions, or something is left out still?
Well, please, what's your first question?
My first question is this all, or are there more to come?
This is the reports that we have collected from the published newspapers and our sources from different districts and divisions of Bangladesh. And this is obviously there are so much more incidents, those are not coming in front of us, or they are kept behind the news network or our network, our human rights network. There are much more incidents. So the real information may be about double of the published news, because all the informations are not coming to us, and we are
Okay,
depending on the
okay.
on published news on our national newspapers, and a little bit we are getting from our own sources from different districts of Bangladesh. So
Certainly,
actual
thank
number
you.
is much greater than the published news.
The number might be much greater than the published, what has been published till now. My God.
Yeah.
Okay. Binoda, I would like to know from you on this, how far can be the number greater? Manik has already said that the numbers may vary and it might be greater. Do you think that the number might be more? Do you think?
Yes, number might be more also because our
Can you please increase the voice? Can you please increase the voice?
number can you hear me?
Yes, certainly, please.
Number much more. Manik, I agree with Manik because our media and source are not covering the communal attack, communal violence, and the and Hindu attacking news because they think this is negative for our government issues. This is pressurized for our government. This is very pressured our government. As that reason, our media is not covered the communal attack. In previous communal 2021, it's called Rakta Sharod. You know the Rakta Sharod. It was huge disaster in Durga Puja, the great festival in Bengali. So that was our media is not coverage that time. After 2 or 3 days, sometimes or 5 days before, 5 days after 5 days, the media covered the Raktakto Sharod and Kumilla Nanwar Dikir Par and the Rangpur Gangachor issue. Yeah, Gangachor issue also. So it's uh, very disappointing and disappoint us because we are also a member in Bangladesh. We are also a general. We have empowerment. We have lots of facilities in our country, but uh, the governance is not very capable at that time.
So where lies the problem? Now I may come to Manik. Where is the problem, Manik? Do you think the government negligence is the real criminal in this area? Do you think government is in Bengal it's called সরকারি অসহযোগিতা, government indifference is the main problem?
Actually, I can't hear clearly for the device problem. I couldn't realize
Well,
your question.
well, my question is, what is the problem? Main problem is it within the governmental negligence? সরকারি অসহযোগিতায় মূল কারণ কি? What do you want to say?
The religious, the problem, you can tell that this is religious, but much more political and economical. And political influences, when the mass attacks, when it happens, the mass attacks, most of the cases we find that the political reasons are behind the mass attacks, just like the Rakta Tushar attack on 2021, and during the election time of Bangladesh, uh, there was a mass killing and vandalism on Hindus in 2001, and in other also after other elections in Bangladesh. So political reason is the main reason behind the mass attacks, and the little incidents of which are occurring frequently now and then. There is religious uh, hate. Religious hate is another reason, and economic reason is another reason. Economic is also caused by the religious hate, which is being spread by the priests and preachers of other religions. So hate is a very common practice in religious gatherings in Bangladesh, and this is increasing. This is alarming for the minorities in Bangladesh, that hate is being spread frequently, and now this is we are afraid that the future of minorities will be very very much more risky because of this reason. Because hate is
Is
spreading.
there is there any institutional support behind this hate mongering? এই ঘৃণার পেছনে কি কোনো প্রাতিষ্ঠানিক সমর্থন রয়েছে? এই ঘৃণাটাকে, এই ঘৃণার রাজনীতির পেছনে কোনো প্রাতিষ্ঠানিক সমর্থন আছে? Institutional
Uh,
support?
I would like to inform you that the politics of hate in Bangladesh was introduced in 1972 by Maulana Bhasani, and the anti-Hindu, anti-India sentiment was first introduced in Bangladesh in 1972, when our great leader Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the father of our nation, we believe that he introduced the secularism in our constitution, and our first constitution was passed in 1972. And before that, Maulana Bhassani and some Islamists they opposed that constitution, and they demanded Islam should be the state religion of Bangladesh, and a secular constitution they did not accept. So from that time, the hate was being spreaded by them. From that time, that was the first time, and first attack on Hindus in independent Bangladesh was took place in 1972 during Puja. That was our first Rakta Sharad in 1972, and that was introduced by Maulana Bhassani. And that philosophy, that politics of hate are now that has taken a much bigger area, and most of the political parties they are using this hate, anti-Hindu, anti-India hate politics, and for that reason, the minority Hindus are not involved in any politics. They are being attacked. They are suffering from this kind of negative politics in Bangladesh.
Fine, fine, fine. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Pradeep, are you here? Pradeep? Can I have a few words with Pradeep? Pradeep, are you in the line? Are you in the room? There's some technical glitches, I think. Pradeep, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Pradeep? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Thank you, Pradeep. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for coming to the show. Pradeep, I was just discussing with Manik and Binoy Babu a few minutes back just of the entire report. Now, I would like to know from you, is this all, or the report can be more vicious and more and bigger? আমি বলতে জিজ্ঞেস করছি যে এটাই কি সব, নাকি এটা আরো বেশি তথ্য আসতে পারে, আরো বেশি তথ্য আসতে পারে এই রিপোর্টের মধ্যে? প্লিজ আনসার। Hello?
Sorry, Dada. Please repeat your question again. Please repeat your questions.
My question is, I have just talked to Manik and Vijay Binoy Babu, and they have stated their own versions. My question to you, is this report the all, or can there be more? এই তো এই রিপোর্টে যা লেখা আছে সেটাই কি সব নাকি আরো বেশি?
We have collected this report from January to December 31st. 31st, but we have collected these reports, and these are all to us. This report is okay, but we know or don't know behind this scene what happened. We don't know, but it is we have collected this news just like it. I think it is okay, but we don't know behind lot of scenes, lot of incidents, lot of matter, lot of persecution. What we don't know, but we can't reach their places, the remote place. Like if you, we can talk about Bandarban. It's a hill tricks area. There are lots of incidents, matters. We have heard from the newspapers, but we didn't go there or we didn't reach there. But we have tried to collect the news. This is the news from January 1st to 31st December. It is we have published yesterday at the report, Dhaka Reporters Unit. This is they have lots of behind lots of scene.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
That is.
Thank you. Now, Binoy Babu, Binoyda, I would like to talk to you, sir. Binoyda.
Yeah.
Hello, Binoyda.
Hello. Hearing? I am hearing.
Binoy, okay, I think your the picture is crazy. I'm sorry, but Binoyda, I would like to know that is it too difficult to make extensive researches on human rights violations in Bangladesh? Is it possible to move to any area in Bangladesh to find out this incident? Is it possible?
Okay.
First of all, can you go? Is it possible?
I took some scenario. About my book. The book was written by Orbachin Randing. It was published in 2022. আমি একটু বাংলায় পড়ে শোনাই, তাহলে আপনি একটু ইংরেজিতে পড়ে শোনাবেন। সেটা হচ্ছে
Okay, fine. Please go on.
9 বছরে বলতে 2013 থেকে 2021, এই 9 বছরে এইটার সোর্স হচ্ছে মানবাধিকার সংস্থা আইন ও সালিশ কেন্দ্র আশোক। 9 বছরে হিন্দু সম্প্রদায়ের উপরে 3679টা মামলা হয়েছে, মানে গত 9 বছরে হিন্দু সম্প্রদায়ের উপরে এই অ্যাটাক হয়েছে। এই অ্যাটাকের মধ্যে হামলা হয়েছে, এই হামলার মধ্যে 1559টা বাড়িঘর ভাঙচুরের ঘটনা ঘটছে এবং অগ্নিসংযোগের ঘটনা ঘটছে। 442টা হচ্ছে প্রতিষ্ঠানে হামলা হয়েছে, ভাঙচুর হয়েছে, এবং প্রতিমা মন্দিরে ভাঙচুর হয়েছে 1678টি। এটা হচ্ছে about on last 9 years history. So it's only depends and we are trying to put in some reference or money also take the newspaper also, the published newspaper also.
We can't hear. Binoyda, শুনতে পাচ্ছি না।
Another also history or also record it not published in the communal attack and violence. Last 9 years, 2013 to 2021, the attack was 3679 violence against Hindu people, Bangladeshi Hindu people. You can't imagine how could it possible, how could it larger than without publishing media. So this is the scenario in our country, and every violence are patronized the fundamentalist, the extremist. But this is not justice.
What has been the response of the government and administration? What has been the response of the government?
Government also will say, dekchi, will say. All time say same sound and same language.
Will say. The government keeps the Hindus waiting, and that's all, isn't it?
Exactly. But justice is not coming to Hindu people.
Yeah. So, what do you think that we have just what we have deduced is that the hate philosophy in Bangladesh is increasing with each and every day it passes. So, so my question is now, we have been hearing of Awami League and these secular values. Now, Awami League government is at the helm of affairs in Bangladesh for the last decade or more, I think. So, what has been the role of the Awami League to put down this incidence of violence? What has been the role of the Awami League government to deal with these issues?
Dada, please again the question.
I would like to know what has been the role of the Awami League government in this regard.
The leader also the going in the flow, the nature and the flow. Because the leaders also their individual not talking in the communal attack and communal violence. Nobody, nobody in last 20 to 25 years they are not talking in the communal attack or communal violence because they are very complicated because when the leader talked in the communal attack or communal violence, the fundamentalists are aggressive in that leader because they are waiting. They believe the Muslim also finding and also their religious view is very hard, but Hindus are religious view is not very good and not enough.
Okay, fine. I would like to come to Manik now. Manik,
Yeah.
what has been the role of the government till now? সরকারের ভূমিকাটা কি রয়েছে? What's its role?
I want to tell it clearly that Hindus and the minorities, they are the elements to play for political benefit, and using the minority and sentiment, the minorities they are not being successful to use their minority sentiment to as if their demands and there are so many demands of minority groups in Bangladesh, but almost no demand was fulfilled till the last 10 to 15 years. None of our demands were fulfilled by the government, and we believe that there is a common belief that Awami League is a friendly government to the minorities in Bangladesh, and Awami League is also using that sentiment. But what have they done for the minority groups, minority communities in Bangladesh? Uh, we are not we are not getting any benefit because we have demanded minority commission dedicated for the welfare of minority community in Bangladesh. We are not getting this, and much more demands are there. Today there was a program by Hindu Buddhist Christian Unity Council in Bangladesh, and they have demanded a list of requirements to the government. But till now, we haven't get any green signal from the government, and for the last 3 term of Awami League, we didn't get anything. So,
Well, Manik, just a minute. If I am not wrong, this Hindu Buddha Christian Council had given this list to Awami League even in the previous years, I think. If I'm not wrong, such a list was given to them also in the last years, isn't it?
yeah.
আগেও তো এইসব লিস্ট দেওয়া হয়েছিল আওয়ামী লীগ সরকারকে, তো বৌদ্ধ খ্রিস্টান কাউন্সিলের পক্ষ থেকে, তো তার কি হলো? তার তো কিছু হয়নি এখনো।
No.
It has not been the case.
Nothing.
But
Nothing happened.
or nothing. Thank you. But according to many political pundits, there is still a difference between Awami League and BNP and Jamaat Islami. Do you agree or disagree?
Uh, Aum League is better than BNP and Jamaat Islami and Islami Bangladesh. And for this reason, because Aum League is believed to be a secular political party.
Though,
Okay,
what do you?
I got your point. I got your point. Uh,
Uh,
uh, the demand of Unity Council, Hindu Buddhist Christian Unity Council, there are a list of demands that is submitted to only government and other governments for the last almost for the last 3 decades, and none of them have been fulfilled. And our minority friendly government, their in their last electoral manifesto, they had commitment to do something for us, just like they will establish independent minority commission for us, and they will pass a special law in the cabinet, minority protection act. And they also committed that vested property, the vested property return act, অর্পিত সম্পত্তি প্রত্যর্পণ আইন, the vested property, and which was enemy property, which was a enemy property, but that act is has not been implemented till now, and their election manifesto commitments also are not fulfilled till now. So we are waiting what they can do for us. And another question is there any difference between Aum League and Jamaat Islami? Obviously, there are much difference among these two parties. Aum League is a secular party. This is believed, and Jamaat is a totally Islamic party, and uh, the Jamaat wants to establish Islamic state, Bangladesh as a Islamic state, but Aum League is trying to establish this country as a secular state. Uh, but in reality, we see that Aum League is also patronizing the religion of the majority, and religion of minorities are being neglected. According to the last change of our constitution, Islam was declared as the state religion of Bangladesh, and the constitution also declared that our state have to, or our state must ensure equality and equal rights of all the religious communities of Bangladesh, including Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist, and Christians. But you just see that there is 560 model masjid all over Bangladesh. Aum League has established, but according to constitution, Hindu, Buddhist, and Christians, they should also get model mandir, model church, and model pagodas. But we have seen nothing. There is not a single model temple in Bangladesh. So, state is discriminating itself. This is very shameful, and the constitution is not being respected by the uh, government. We can say it clearly that because there is no model temple or other facilities which are getting our majority community, but minority are not getting that. If you also notice the budget of Ministry of Religious Affairs of Bangladesh, the 97 to 98% budget is allocated among the majority community. Only 2 to 3% budget is allocated for the minority groups, minority religious and the indigenous groups of Bangladesh. Hindu, Buddhist, Christian, and indigenous people of Bangladesh. They are getting only 2 to 3% budget. So this
Well,
we
Mani,
can
there's
say
a,
the
well,
state is
just a minute.
discriminating.
Okay, certainly. Well, there, what question has come to us that why is there no specific political party of the minorities in Bangladesh? Why is there no specific political party of Hindus in Bangladesh? হিন্দুদের নির্দিষ্ট রাজনৈতিক দল নেই কেন? Why is there not a single political party of Hindus in Bangladesh?
Oh, the
Is it too
Hindus,
difficult?
Hindus in Bangladesh, they love uh, uh, Aum League from the very beginning of the state, from the very beginning of the birth of Bangladesh. Minorities and especially Hindu community, they love Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. They love and respect that daughter of the father of the nation, Sheikh Hasina. Hindus love and respect Aum League. They depend on Aum League. They cannot find any another option or and Hindus, they don't want to create any different political party because that will be harmful for Aum League. They are so much obedient to Aum League. But
But
there are Hindu political parties in Bangladesh. One is Bangladesh Hindu League, and in the last year we saw that Bangladesh Sanatan Party. There is another Hindu political party, and there is Minority People's Party. There is Minority Janata Party, and so 4 to 5 political parties are there, but most of them are Nam Sarvasya. That is only name, and a very little or few people are engaged in those political parties. They have no public sentiment or public uh,
support.
people they don't support, no public support behind them. Minority people, especially Hindu people, they love and respect and they depend only on only.
My question is very simple. Does this dependence has this dependence been beneficial to the Hindus? এই ডিপেন্ডেন্স কি বাঙালি হিন্দুদের জন্য উপকারী সাব্যস্ত হয়েছে ওখানে? Has it
Or
been
no, no, no,
beneficial to the Hindus?
no, no. Bangladeshi Hindus are not being benefited from this political stand because they even they cannot uh, acquire, they cannot achieve the demands from they needed to fight, they needed to struggle, or their demands should be strong, their movements could be stronger. Otherwise, except stronger movement, even Aum League is not fulfilling our demands. So the Hindu
That means
groups are
you. That means just a minute. That means according to you, but unless the Hindus get strong on their own, there is no option for them, isn't it? হিন্দুদের নিজেদের
Yes,
বলেই শক্ত হতে হবে, তাই তো? They have to
actually,
get
yes, actually, Hindus have no other option, no better option rather than Aum League. So Hindus are supporting Aum League.
fine. So Binoyada, I would like to know from you, does Hindus have any option other than Awami League in Bangladesh? Is there any option for the Hindus in Bangladesh other than Awami League?
Hindus are not realized the political parties reform in Bangladesh because they are very dependent. Malik said that they are very dependent on Aum League and then very obedient in Aum League and also.
Can you be louder, please? একটু জোরে বলতে পারবেন? Can you be louder?
Hello. Are you hearing?
Please. Yes. Now, okay, fine.
Hindu community are not reforming in for any political party or any political organization because they are very obedient in Aum League, Bangabandhu, and also her daughter Sheikh Hasina. They are not much more ambitious because they are that Hindus live their dream is very short because they are not achiever, not more than obedient also. They are very peculiar type of community characteristics in Bangladesh. The Hindu people are not. The Hindu people are ambitious. They reform in political party in Bangladesh.
I just failed to understand. What did you say?
Hindu community are if Hindu community are ambitious, if Hindu community leading in the nation, if Hindu community lead the Hindu people also, they reform in political parties and political organization also.
So according to you, the Hindus love arm Malik so much so that they cannot be the bargaining counters at any moment. তারা মানে বার্গেইন করতে মানে দর কষাকষি করা তাদের পক্ষে সম্ভব হচ্ছে না। Is it true you heard it? Is it exactly? Okay, fine. Now, Pradeep, I would like to come to you. Pradeep.
Dada.
Yes. Why are Hindus failing in Bangladesh? বাংলাদেশে হিন্দুরা পরাজিত হচ্ছে কেন প্রতি মুহূর্তে? What do you want to say?
Because Bangladeshi politician after independence had betrayed with the minorities. A betrayal began immediately after the independence 1971. We have seen the Maulana Bashar was the ringmaster of the communalism after 1971 after independence. And most of the politicians, especially most of the politicians after independence in Bangladesh 1971, when Hindus believed them, like Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, we have seen in 1972 when the newborn country, Bangladesh was the newborn country in 1972. We have seen a mass attack carried out on Hindus, especially Durga Puja in 1972. It was the same attack after 50 years later, 2021, we had seen in Bangladesh. From 1971 to 2021, this time we have seen the politician always betrayed with the minority community in Bangladesh, especially Buddhist, Christian, and Aborigines, and also other ethnic minorities who believed or supported Bangabandhu and his ideology on as a secular state, newborn secular state. We have seen the atrocities against minorities that took place more than 3 days during the Ershad rule in 1982. Almost 1 month during the rule after the 1991. In the 1991 election, we have seen that time BNP was ruled the country. During the 5 years of BNP Jamaat rule in 2001 to 2006, and 14 years of Bangladesh Awami League from a 14-party Grand Alliance, including Ershad Jatiyo Party. That ruling time is 2009 to 2022. We have seen the last attack at Norail the last year, maybe June 19. Where all attacks carried out the state-sponsored terrorism against the minorities in Bangladesh. And this attack, especially behind the scene, as the political party's leader, so we have seen in Norai police, the head of the police was a Hindu, and the Awami League, who is the supporter of Awami League, and the president of Awami League, that the district president of Awami League was a Hindu. And we have seen the attack, especially the attack carried out on Hindu communities. More than 100 Hindu families are victims, and Akash Shah and his father was victims by the local local majority person people, and that who carried out this attack and who was the behind the scene, the ringmaster of the ruling party leaders and supporters there. And we have seen from 2001 to 2022, especially 2001 to 2006, we have seen a Shahabuddin commission, a commission that was formed for a commission that was formed from during 2001 to 2002, that the massive attack. And the commission name was Shahabuddin Commission. That report was published in 2011, but the present government didn't implication still now. We didn't have seen any kind of implication on minority persecution in Bangladesh. Recently, during this month, a massive attack carried out like Pandarban Lama, Mo tribe, their homes, their house, their land was grabbed by the rubber industries, and most of their military personnel, the businessmen carried out, and all behind the political parties are the ringmaster. We have seen there are a lot of cause, lot of scenes behind the attack on minority communities in Bangladesh, and all allegation, all involvedness are coming out from the political parties. Who are the ruler, or who was the ruler, the past and the present and future. It is impossible to survive here as a minority, as I am a minority here, and our minority community, there are a lot of minority leaders. They believe in Awami League after the liberation war, who believe in Bangabandhu's ideology, but all politician parties always betrayed with the minority communities, and they know, the minority leaders also know they betrayed with us, but they have not an option to select another political parties. I hope, or I believe that is the main issue. The political parties always betrayed with us. If you can see in 2018, the Awami League have declared they will give, if it will come in power, they will give a minority commission, minority minister, and for the religious ethnic minority. But they did still now they didn't implication by amplified in this country. And today, Hindu Buddha Christian Oikya Parishad marched a rally in Dhaka Shahabad for their Awami League's for their demand. Who Awami League was will do for the Hindu minority communities, and they are working now a lot of scene Hindu Buddha Christian Oikya Parishad, but they can't realize that what the mass Hindus want they, what they hope from the leaders. The minority leaders or ethnic people always they hope their leaders will do better something, but we have seen a lot of scenarios behind this here, because when a political party came to the power in our country, they always use the minority communities as minority vote bank. More than 3 or 4 times I have talked with the foreign leaders, foreign native, our community leaders who are now living in foreign countries. They work for the present government, came to the power, but they didn't. Awami League or the ruling party didn't keep their word with what they did with the minorities. I hope, and my statement is, the political parties always betrayed with the minority community, and still now it was prevail in previous day, and still now I believe it will exist or return in near future. Thank you.
Now, another question from me, Pradeep. How long can the Hindus survive with this betrayal? Pradeep, how long? How long can Hindus survive with this betrayal? How come, till what limit they can go, the Hindus? এই বিশ্বাসঘাতকতা নিয়ে হিন্দুরা কতদিন বেঁচে থাকতে পারে বাংলাদেশে?
It is quite impossible. All Hindu leaders, all Hindu community, not only Hindu communities, the minority communities, they understand it. They are now living with the betrayal matters that the politicians are betrayed with them, but they have not a single option without accept any option to to keep it or to retain it, and they will survive here. But they have not a single option without Amoli. If they if they are strong and if they are a strong capability to build up a community based leadership, that will, but I hope they are the Hindu community leaders always selling their trust and selling their community trust to Amolik, and Amolik given uh, gave back their at a bamboo gave back a bamboo. For this reason, we have seen in 2021, each and every single attack came out from the ruling party, local leaders, and MP also involved the attack. If you can see in Kumila attack, there also involvedness have a ruling party MP and their local commissioner. And if we can look back at Hajigon's attack, there also Hindu, there also Amolik or Satro League, student league leader also involved as it. But all matters, all vital things, no, the Hindu leaders or minority leaders, but they can't live or can't survive without Amulik involvement.
Fine, fine, fine. Now, Vinod, I would like to come to you, Vinod. In such a situation, do you think that the external interference of the globally acclaimed organizations, the United Nations, and other powerful countries like USA, UK, France, Germany from Europe, including India, can save a lot of Hindus in Bangladesh? Do you think?
India will not take any step for Hindu community in Bangladesh. India never.
Pardon, I
They
cannot
say
hear. Please repeat. Please repeat.
India cannot take any step previous day in huge communal attack in Bangladesh. They say it. We take, but that cannot take any massive action in the community in the attack of Hindu community of Bangladesh. The if the Indian government are pressurize the Bangladesh government, the communal attack is very dangerous in Bangladesh. If
Please carry on. Please carry on. Please. Bolun.
and
Please carry
and
on.
and, and UN government and the Amnesty International, they can they several times takes the Bangladeshi minority humanity is very disorganized, and Bangladeshi minority are very sorrow living in the very disaster life lived. But our government all time say it, we take action, but never take action at that time or now uh, running time. The government also all time the skip the issues. All government are skip the issues because they are not take any action about against the fundamentalist, against the extremist people in Bangladesh. The situation is as like changing to
Unacceptable.
yeah,
The situation is unacceptable. So my next
exactly.
question. My next question is, Vinod, what's the future of Hindus in Bangladesh? What's the future of Hindus in Bangladesh? Or is there any future at all?
Uh, future at that time we will take any action. Future is very difficult to say at that time because uh, uh, ac- after 47 we see it, we see or we search also the Hindu community people are more huge number of Hindu community people are missing. because they are tolerate the punishment lived in Bangladesh. The future is very difficult at that time. Our Hindus are vulnerable in that time because the political leader, political government, and the political parties also is not very friendly in Hindu community or Hindu people. Is it reality?
Fine. My next question to you, Vinada, do you think that the problem lies in the Hindu structural shape of Hindu society? Do you think the main problem lies within the Hindu society structure? মানে হিন্দু সমাজের পরিকাঠামোর মধ্যে কি পুরো সমস্যাটা লুকিয়ে আছে বলে আপনি মনে করেন? Do you think so?
Not so because the problem is not only for Hindu people. The problem is the leader's mind. Who can lead our nation? Who who can lead our Hindu community leader? One or two people, but they are very pressurized in ruling government. So how they live in Bangladesh? How is that the
Fine.
reason? Is
My
it the reason?
question.
Murimichuda,
Okay.
I want to add with Dr. Dada that your question is very significant. That is there any problem or weakness among the social structure of Hindu community? Is it
Yeah,
that?
certainly.
Okay. Obviously, your assumption is correct. There is many weaknesses in our social structure in the Hindu community. Uh, Most of the Hindus they are not politically aware. First of all, this is number one scenario, real scenario. Hindus are not politically aware, and they just blindly believe a definite political party, and they just vote for that party. What are they getting in return? They are not serious about that. They are not. They never seek any alternative political party who can fulfill their demands. uh, they, uh, uh, they can't play the political game. That they are always the elements to play, and they are the elements to play the political game of the political parties. The
But
parties
Manik,
are
1 minute, 1 minute, Manik, 1 minute. If I am not wrong, despite that there is a majority presence of the Hindus in Bangladesh, in several areas of Bangladesh, I have found that a considerable presence of Hindu support in any district. There is a good number of Hindus, considerable population in Bangladesh, the Hindus, Bangladesh districts. Even there, the Hindus cannot play the bargaining counter. And I want to say that যেখানে যেখানে হিন্দুরা একটু জনসংখ্যার উন্নত অবস্থায় আছে সেখানে তো তারা দর কষাকষি করতে পারছে না, তাই নয় কি? দর
yeah, yeah.
কষাকষি করতে কি পারে তারা? It can't.
Hmm.
Why? Why can't they?
They,
Why can't they bargain?
Hindus are vote back for a definite political party.
Okay.
The scenario is Aum League is thinking that Hindus are our vote bank. They have no other way to go. So whether we fulfill their demands or not, they will vote for us. So they are neglecting or using Hindus. And
That was
other political
yes.
parties like BNP and Jamaat, they know Hindus will never give us vote. So
Okay.
we don't need to think the benefits, or we don't need to think about the facilities of the minorities or the Hindus.
Okay.
They don't
That was
think
that was
they
what
care about Hindus,
that
and Aumlik is also not caring about Hindus because they are reserved vote bank. Whether they fulfill their
so
demands or not, they don't care.
so according to you, to our leg, Hindus are the permanent stocks. Okay, the permanent stocks in the share
Yeah,
market. Okay,
yeah.
and for the Jamaat Islami, Hindus are no stocks. Okay, so none does care for the Hindus. But my question is here: do you think that the Hindu social structure and the Hindu social mindset is quite responsible for this nonsense? Do you think?
Binoy, please answer.
Uh,
Uh,
Hindus are not responsible at that reason because Manik also said they are not very. Our vote bank also reserve in army. So the others political parties are not believe we are together also. They are march or more. So
Hmm.
uh, Hindu community are depending also. All they are all time in Bangladesh situation. They are all time in political character, in facilities character, in educational character. All every sector, the Hindu people are dependent mentality is very much deserving. Because the people are not increased in any. They cannot grow any leadership quality in Bangladesh. It
but
is very very.
Binoy, I would like to know. Till now, in the last 80 years, there have been almost 100 genocides in East Pakistan and Bangladesh of the Hindus. This report of Jatiya Mahajur shows the abject poverty or the abject slavery of the Hindus. What more is needed for a political enlightenment among the Hindus? আর কি প্রয়োজন হিন্দুদের মধ্যে রাজনৈতিক সচেতনতা বাড়ানোর জন্য এত গণহত্যা এত রক্ত এরপরে আর কি প্রয়োজন আছে what more is needed to increase the political enlightenment among the Hindus?
Not only 100 genocide, 100 genocide or 100 attack. Yet you can say you say it or 100 genocide or 100 attack. It's not more. It's much more. Last 50 years. We are, last 50 years. The Hindu attack, people attacking in huge. It is huge. I also said my book. The last 9 years, 3,000 more than attack in Hindu people. 3,000 more than. So you can imagine how they believe the critical situation. Uh, they are not talking independently. They are not moving independently. Even though the Hindu women are not can't take any tips in any shidu also. The Hindu community Hindu women are not take wearing in shakha. It's
No,
very
I'm
critical.
well. I just wait. Okay, you were just wondering they can wear shakha, they can wear sindhus or bindis or tips and anything. Is it in the urban centers or is it even in the cities or in the
Yeah,
villages?
in Chattogram, Hindu women uh, examination hall. Yeah. So the Hindu women entry, when the Hindu women entry in the examination hall, he removed his shakha. So feel it, how the Hindu women are feel the situation. Then Hindu women removed the shakha and entered the examination hall, and the women are crying because she believes in rituals. She believes in shaka schedule also. Yeah. So examination, it was but when a critical situation in our country. You know the single episode. I can talk with you. The our education system also the basic when communal sentiment also. I share my write-up with you. Some examination question uh, uh, rising in the communal sentence, the rising in the communal word. Guru জবাই করে what the sentence in national HSC higher secondary education examinatory. So all over the history, all over the scenario is very critical. One side, the Hindu people are not rising in last 50 years. Against side, they are also tolerate the torture, and against side, the communal attack are also increasing in more day by day. And against side, the political parties are not solve the uh, uh, communal issues. They they all time say take it, dekhi, we'll say you, we'll see. But it word also will see. It's not solved in communal racism, in communal attack, in also communal harmony.
Pradip, the last question to you. Pradip,
Dada,
what's the future of hippies in Bangladesh?
it's very dire future, Dada. It's very dire and very dangerous, and Hindus will be perished from, not only Hindus, the minority community will be perished from Bangladesh. Because if you can look back, from 2001 to 2022, last 20 years, there have not a single justice implication in Bangladesh. Impunity is the main issue, not a Hindu leaders. I, I personally analyze, or I personally read, or it's my personal statement. Not a Hindu leader, not a single Hindu leader are responsible for our fate, but it is the main cause for our as a state, as we live still now as Islamic state after the independence from 1972 to still now 2022. We have seen there have the massive attack came from 2001 to 2006 and 2006 to 2022. There are a lot of massive attack, and we have recognized from 2012 to 2022. There are lots of massive attack continuously carried out on Hindus or minorities, but there have not a single justice implication. I have quoted out like 2012 Kaligunj attack and the Chiribondor attack, Ramu attack, Nasinnagar attack, Shathias attack, Rangpur attack, Muradnagar attack, and Humna attacks, and Shalla attacks. Last attack is Norail attack. We didn't see, not only the minority community didn't see, there have not prevailed a justice for a single minority community. We have seen there our highest court and the lowest court, they have ordered, they have given Somomoto, and there are lot of curriculum they have implied that during the attack period, like the 1 month or 2 months, and then when the attack are going to pass, like 3 months or 4 months, and this file, when especially we have seen the 2021 a writ was filed in our Supreme Court, High Court division, maybe 2 Hindu lawyers. I can remember now one name is Mintu Da. I have personally known him. He filed a writ petition in our higher court, but maybe 3 or 6 months later, this writ number was 8930. The writ number was, but the writ was ordered. The High Court was ordered maybe 6 districts like Bandarban, Kumila, Chittagong, Rangpur. This district, the court order, the judicial investigation will the judicial investigation on the minority communities, what happened the Durga Puja attack. But still now, the writ petition was upheld. The higher court, chamber judge court is upheld this order, and the judicial investigation completely stopped. Who stopped this judicial investigation? The state. Who are the state ruler party? The Amorik party. I personally blame the Amorik party. And last 15 years we have seen they have not a single justice for the minority community, and it is the only one thing and one single matter the minority community will not survive in this country for justice, because when they go to the lower court, when they go to the higher court, they didn't get a justice from this state. But it was the main responsibility of the state. They have completely or transparently written they will ensure our rights and our belief. But the state have completely failed to secure his minority community still now and previous. And for this reason, it is the only one and the most significant reason Bangladeshi minority will not survive or will not exist in this country. Thank you.
Onimitra, the last
Yes.
word. I read my another information from my book, Arbachinirat. You can realize how people just survive in our country at that time. Abul Barakat was one of the finest professor in our country, Dhaka Vishwavidyalaya. He write a book, very reference also. He I can read Bengali.
Please read in Bengali, I'll translate English. Please read in Bengali.
The book name is বাংলাদেশে কৃষি ভূমি জলা সংস্কারের রাজনৈতিক অর্থনীতি। এই গবেষণা 1964 থেকে 2013 বছর 2013 সাল 1964 to 2013 এই 50 বছরে বাংলাদেশ থেকে 1,13,00,000 হিন্দু নিরুদ্দিষ্ট হয়েছে। 1,13,00,000 হিন্দু amazing.
That was the sensational report of Abul Barkat that carried for 1964-2013 states that more than 1,13,00,000 lakhs of Hindus are missing from Bangladesh till date. Okay?
Not dead.
This is one of the most sensational information that can be found in the human context. Please, carry on, please.
এই পুরো সময়ে হিন্দু শত্রু সম্পত্তি আইনে হিন্দু সম্প্রদায়ের মূল মালিকানার 26 লক্ষ একর জমি বেদখল করা হয়েছে, ভূমিচ্যুত করা হয়েছে তাদেরকে।
That was in the same period between 1960 2013, Hindus have been evicted from 26 lakh acres of their own land. Okay?
Dada, I want to add something with Binoyda. I want to
Okay,
these statistics from 1964 to 2006. Abul Barakat sir said it, but from the 2006 to still now what happened? I have seen maybe 200 families from the tribal area like the Bandarban. 200 families, they leave the country forcefully. They leave the country and they get shelter in Mizoram. 200 bomb tribe. And I have also seen one family member, his name is Pintulal Das. He also leave this country. He also leave this country for his security, safety, and we had a lot of calls. His wife was affected, was under attack. His family member, his uncle was murdered 2012. We have seen there were a lot of cases, and that was Abul Barakat sir written good in this book, but there are a lot of information was missing from this book. Like we can say he also gave a statement in this book. It is one kind of genocidal crime that was informed like the Rome Statute. The article 6 and 7. 6 and 7 also indicate that what is genocidal crime. In this book, Abul Barakat sir also claimed the 2.26 lakhs acre land was grabbed by the majority percent people in Bangladesh. It is a genocidal crime. But it is a regretful word. Bangladeshi minority don't know what is genocidal crime. We have seen Bangladesh is a number one. Bangladesh is a number one evidence or testimony of Rwanda Rohingya case in ICC. We have seen last year that Bangladesh give a statement in ICC. Rwanda was filed a complaint or filed a case in International Criminal Court that Bangladesh give a statement that it was a genocidal crime that was happened in Rohingya by the state of Myanmar. But not a single word used in Bangladesh as a genocidal crime, like what said the Abul Barkas sir in his book. 2.6 26 lakhs acre land was grabbed by the Abul Barkas sir. It was one of the greatest genocidal crime in Bangladesh. I hope so. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Renata. Thank you very much, Manik, and thank you very much for making
Thank you.
this session very, very nice and very, very enriching for us. Now, the viewers, it's for you to decide what is going on in Bangladesh with the minority, especially the Hindus. Once upon a time, the Bengali Hindus in the undivided Indian subcontinent have been at the head of affairs in many things. They were the leading in industry, in agriculture, in literature, in sports, in medicine, in innovations. But now, after 80 years of independence, the Bengali Hindus have been not only in Bangladesh but also in West Bengal and Assam and anywhere across the globe. The Bengali Hindus have failed completely to come out from the menace of partition till now. What is happening in Bangladesh at this moment might take place in India too. Well, the dangers of all those menaces are getting prominent more and more in West Bengal and other states even. If the Rohingya issue can be one of the most central goals in the Gujarat Assembly election, just happened a few months or a couple of months back. So these issues are very, very common in India. Unfortunately, there have been prosecutions, there are a lot of genocides, but at the same time, we must also declare that there is something very wrong within the Hindu social system and the social structure. The Hindu social structure cannot move on in this manner in the coming centuries. Long before this day, in 1870, the Hindu Mela that took place in Calcutta at the time made a very, very powerful prediction, is that unless the Bengali Hindus turn themselves into a military society, it's impossible for them to exist. And now we are on the verge of this collapse. We are facing the dangers of extinction. The Bengali Hindus are facing the dangers of extinction. We are on the verge of collapse. What is happening in Bangladesh will happen and has started to happen even in West Bengal. That means the Bengali Hindus share a common language, a common destiny, and a common objective. Unfortunately, the Hindus are divided, and for that reason, we have not been able to offer a unified resistance. I am not talking for any communal disagreement or communal confrontation, but I am talking of a unified, a hardcore resistance to the atrocities, to the inhuman tortures. We must have our skin and kith and kin. We are on the verge of losing existence, and I do have the right to exist. I have the right to exist. This central philosophy has been echoed by our venerable, the respected guest today. And I do think that those who have joined later on, for them, the Bangladesh human rights violations or the minority persecution report must be read out once more. Since the Hindus do not have the memory to go through one thing again and again. So for that reason, the Bangladesh National Hindu Confederacy yesterday at the Dhaka Reporters Unity in Dhaka, the capital city of Bangladesh, came out with this dreadful annual report where it states very clearly that 154 minority people have been murdered, 30 rapes, of which 27 are gang rapes, 14 women have been killed following the rapes, 55 women have been attempted to rape, 152 people have been forcibly converted to Islam, 40 more have been tried to convert, 849 people have received death threats, 424 people have suffered attempts to murder, while 360 men have been wounded severely. 27 crores, 46 lakhs and 33,000 of taka, that is Bangladeshi currency, have been looted from the Bangladeshi minorities. In the last 1 year, 89,000 and 90 acres of land belonging to the minority community have been seized forcibly. 472 minority families have been evicted from their own ancestral lands, while 445 families have been kicked out from Bangladesh. Minorities have suffered of loss and amount altogether 220 crores 89 lakh taka against the Bangladesh currency. Now the statistics and larger statistics. Incidents of loots at temples and minority families 319, attacks at residences 891, hoarding of properties 519, destructions at business centers 173, houses seized 57, business centers seized 50, temple properties seized 51. Serious attempts have been made to evict 3,694 families. Number of families to get threats of eviction 35,818. Families living or staggering under threats to leave Bangladesh 15,115. Number of insecure families 1,95,991. Organized attacks 953. Incidents to desecrate and destruct temples 128. Destruction of holy deities 841. Stolen deities 72. Incidents to hurt religious sentiment 127. Incidents of arrests, loss of jobs due to fake cases is 791. And after that, it has got to be stated that this list is still incomplete. This list is still incomplete. There are more things to come. Have conducted interviews, have been able to go through the several areas, more information from the newspapers and the media. The list is still incomplete. Now, for a same individual cutting across religious political divisions, do you think this report as less than a Word document? If this can happen in a single year from January to December 31, 2022, then what can happen in the war situations? The Bengali Hindus, the Hindus living in Bangladesh are at stake. It's a time for the global humanity and the global population to come forward and pressurize the government of Bangladesh to adopt all the necessary measures to ensure the existence of the Hindus there. This is the high time for us. Unless the Hindus in Bangladesh are saved, it must be stated what Bengal suffers today, India suffers tomorrow. And the suffering has started already. That can be found, echoed in many corners of the country. Thank you very much for watching the session, and thank you very much our special guest Binoyda, our venerable researchers Manik Roktik and Pradeep Chandra for coming here and make this session so enriching and so, what I'll say, not controversial, but definitely quite positive, since we do speak in the same voice. And when we, the Hindus, are trying to speak in the same voice, it is proven that we are struggling hard to resist and to fight our own existence. And this struggle of to exist shall not stop unless we get the plan. Thank you very much for coming to the show. Good night.
Thank you, Dada. Thank you.
Thank you.